Hey everyone, my name is Travieso. That's because I am a go-go dancer. I dance for bears, and not quite the typical kind of place that you would dance at. Bears, of course, are bigger, larger, hairier, burly guys. And they enjoy watching people dance too, especially if they look the same as them, or even smaller. It doesn't matter. So there is a whole realm of bear go-go dancers. It's in the whole community of otters, cubs, bears. There's all sorts of us that actually dance. It's not really mainstream. The idea of go-go dancing is definitely very mainstream. Everyone wants to be a go-go dancer. Everyone. I have people coming up to me saying, "Hey, how do I get started? What do I do? Where do I go? Who do I talk to?" And they asked me if it was easy, if I had any hard times doing it. To be totally honest, it was pretty easy to get into it. I knew a promoter, and he was like, "Yeah, go ahead, let's try you out." And ever since then, I have been a go-go dancer. It's definitely a trip seeing other go-go dancers that are not bears working with you. And with it being compared, it's very, you could almost say, underground. We almost get underappreciated because of what we do, because we're going up there being fully hairy, having a 38-inch waist or more, and having beer belly, dad bod almost. We are not 5% body fat. We do not bend backwards all the times. Some guys do still, but just the focus that's not been on us has kind of been depreciating even more. And a lot of times we are really good friends. So each night that we're dancing, we become close again. We talk about tips, and how to dress right, how to support ourselves, not just monetary, but to support our junk. But then there's life after the club, and there's a lot that goes on with just us dancers outside the club. We'll go out, we'll hang out, we talk on the phone, everything. It's almost like a high school clique, if you will, and it can get pretty crazy. Been in times when it was pretty cutthroat. The very first time I started working, I was one of the skinnier guys, and after working for them for it was almost 5 months, they decided to vote me out of their group, and they never told me why, except for the fact that I was starting to do my own thing. And they just felt that they didn't want me to be a part of their group for that. So I ended up doing my own thing, and I actually loved it even better. I can go to other new clubs. I could really just experience what else was out there. And just hearing stories from other guys, it's been not even struggling. There's not even a word for it. Yeah, you start to know who to trust more. And the word does get out if you're a bad person. And yeah, it's not easy being a go-go boy and being a bear or a cub, because you can't dance at every single nightclub. You can basically only dance at bear events, or if you're able to at fetish and leather events, because that can somewhat go hand in hand. But you can't go into West Hollywood and start dancing at Mickey's, MJ's, the Abbey, whatever. You just can't. People will look at you negatively, and that's, I wouldn't say unfair, but it's life. That's life of being gay and being not that ideal go-go dancer. But there's definitely a huge niche for go-go bears. I do encourage friends that if they're thinking, oh, you know what, I think I want to try, I'll be like, okay, great. Here's a couple things to know first, and then I can definitely have you talk to a promoter and see what he says. So I've had a handful of friends go-go dance. They don't always like it, but some do. So, but yeah, after a while, knowing your own boundaries and what people are going to expect from you, and what to expect of yourself, it can take a toll. But I've lost friends. I've gained friends as being a go-go. I have lost boyfriends as being a go-go. A lot of them would know immediately when I tell them that I am a go-go dancer for bears, and they would be like, oh yeah, that's totally fine, we can work with that. And I was like, okay, great, because you know this. And maybe a few months in, and then all of a sudden things are like, hey, so this is happening and this is happening, we need to fix this. And it's just all about the dancing. And after a while they're like, oh, so that's what you meant. And it's like, yeah, I'm a go-go dancer. It's where I go. I will be at the club until 2 in the morning. When I get home, I get home. I've been faithful enough to be coming home to a boyfriend or someone that I'm dating, and never bringing home some person from the club. I can't say that for everyone, but some people will bring strangers home. So I definitely think that there is something out there that can be exposed about go-go bears, to highlight the importance of go-go bears in the go-go realm. And we almost have to put on a facade, just like drag queens. Drag queens, they perform, and go-go dancers perform. So we're all performing, we're all trying to make tips, we're all getting whatever bucket we're actually getting to actually work at that night. But yeah, some of us actually have to maintain our body to keep it smaller, bigger, hairier, whatever. but we all have to maintain something. I actually started go-go dancing when I had 2 other jobs. So I was doing a full-time job and a part-time job and dancing on the weekends. So I was extremely tired, but I had fun. I would always have fun. Wherever I went, I would just really have fun doing it. But there was some chaos a few times of, oh, you were with my boyfriend, you were talking to my boyfriend, I'm seeing this guy right now, and we were talking to him. So, and that's actually happened between us go-go dancers alone. So there's our own drama too. But yeah, I definitely think that there's something out there that can definitely be bringing us out of, I guess, a stigma, and showing that with, I almost hate to compare it, but like with RuPaul's Drag Race and bringing the drags out and making it very public and very, it's almost elusive. And then showing that drag has a history. And go-go dancers, of course, also have a history very similar to drag queens. And the Go-Go Bears actually kind of have their own. So, because we're actually a community of the LGBT. So we have our own ways of doing things and liking things, and but with the go-go dancers for the Bears, it doesn't always come back the same way. So we're almost treated like just a statue up there, and oh, here's $1, and then oh, here's a drink. But you know, when you dance, you don't take a drink from someone unless it's your best friend. But yeah, there's still a lot of stuff that goes into being a go-go bear dancer. So yeah, I hope to actually talk to more people about it soon. I'm actually going to start writing some little, I guess, notes about things that have happened to me and what I like about it, what I don't, and what I've learned. I've been a go-go dancer for almost 4 years now. I have other friends that have been dancing for almost over 6 years. So it's definitely different. It's not for everyone. I've had people dance just once and that was it. But yeah, I definitely hope to actually talk to someone soon about this, and we'll see what can happen. So let's get some information, and we'll just go from there. Thanks, you guys.